It's October 2nd, 2002. This is the annual meeting of the Melrose Area Historical Society, elections, and second annual Antiques Home Show. It was so successful last year that we promised we'd bring these guys back again, and we're so happy to see them. Over here, Colonel Frank Imholt, well-known local auctioneer. Over here, David Seuter, from the Antiques Gallery in St. Cloud. And they are here to appraise your items. We're very glad to have them. We're glad to have you all here. Enjoy the Antiques Home Show.
It's kind of a neat piece.
I got 3 wanted posters.
Okay. Well, as long as my picture isn't on them, that's a good thing. Okay.
One. Here's one.
Well, bunch.
They were all known.
Yep. Now, I remember watching shows on these. Okay, 19 September 1900. Okay.
Give me a rough shot.
Well, you gotta. I wouldn't get a whole lot in our marketplace for something like this. But you know, if these are, you know, and they appeared to be original ones. I mean, that's unusual that you would find them like that. This one I almost thought was a duplicate, but these two appeared to be more new, older. But maybe these are all originals, you know, without taking them out and examining them.
Sure.
But I would say if these are in fact the original pieces, they're probably worth in our marketplace 25 to 50 a piece. You know, that's what we get in our marketplace on an auction.
Well, it gives me a little idea.
Get an idea.
I heard Cliff Mitchell telling about this tonight, so we had to come.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad he brought it up.
Yeah.
The edges, some of it is from wear. It's chipped off of it. It's, I would say it's probably turn of the century era because of the edging, and I'd say something like this would do in our market probably $100 on an auction. You know, this one, is this the next one here?
Yep, that's the next one here.
Okay, that one, I don't think that one is as old.
You don't think that's old, huh?
Well, as old as that one?
Maybe not as old,
No. I would say this one is 30s, 20s and 30s, 1920, 1930 area. I'm not real positive. Do you have a history on this one?
That was found in a shed when we moved. So that's all I know about that. Anyway.
I've not ever seen this one, and it doesn't seem to be marked at all.
No, I don't think so.
On an auction, we'd probably be in that, just based on the frame, mostly more so than the picture, again in that $50 area on something like that.
Any day.
Yeah. Well, that's right, but that gives you an idea.
Yeah.
This is the, you know, a unique frame here. A little bit of a chipping there.
I've got another one at home.
Okay, you've got twin frames like this, so you have two of them. The frame itself, you know, not counting the picture, right? The frame itself will probably do a couple $100 on an auction for something for a frame like this, typically.
I saw it on Antique Roadshow here 2 weeks ago. The very
saw this
same
one?
thing.
This one?
Yep.
Okay.
And you know what they said?
I have no idea.
10 to 15,000 to 100.
This in our marketplace would not bring.
No, maybe not here, but I mean you'd have to know where to sell it.
Right, but I don't believe this is that old of a piece. We're looking at it. You got to look at what the corners are here and how the joints are made, and if it's that old, you know, again, you know, unless you know of the history that this dates back to the 1860s, and I don't believe it does. I think this is a reproduction. And this is, you know, I'm just looking at your corner cuts and whatnot. What's it say there? Made in Taiwan. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
If you can get that kind of money, I drive it to the East Coast because I don't think you'll get any that kind of money.
No, not around here.
Well, but I don't think you'll get that kind of money for something made in Taiwan in the East either. I don't believe those are Taiwanese frames on the
I love them now.
Oh, they're neat keepsakes.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, thanks a
thank
lot.
you for bringing them. Of course. Okay.
He lived in Meyer Grove growing up. So, any idea? It had my grandmother and grandfather's picture. They put mom and dad's
Sure.
for my nieces and nephews.
Sure.
But,
So how long have you had it in the family then?
oh, it's been in our family since 1890.
Okay.
My grandfather, 1889 is when they were married. Their wedding picture was in there.
It's a really unique frame. I like this one. This looks a lot different than the last ones I was looking at. I would say that something like this, because of the signature in there, it's a combination of the old piece, this could do on an auction in our marketplace, probably without the family photo, but just with this inlay, you're probably in the 3 to 5 range in our marketplace, 300 to 500 in our marketplace, because of the oldness of that. And again, that goes back to having it signed.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming.
Dad gave her that for their wedding, and she felt real bad. That perfume marks.
Mark on it, yeah. Well, mirror's in nice shape. These sets are bringing anywhere from $25 to $50 on our auctions for these sets. Yes, yeah. Even though they're very aged, they aren't. There's the cellulite is. That seems to be about what the sets are bringing.
I was
typically.
wondering if that was cellulite or something.
Yeah, no, I believe it to be that. By looking at it, yep. Is this the only piece that you have like
That's
this?
the only piece that's left, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It belongs to a friend of ours.
I'm here.
Well, there you are. Hello. No, that's fine.
His mother and dad got a set of this for their wedding,
Okay.
and that would be approximately between 80 or 85 years.
Well, I was, by the gold trimming and edging, and also this design in it.
That's transferware.
Right. Yes, it is. And they actually did some of the lamps with the same kind of a design. They were matching lamps that, every once in a while you'll see those lamps. This one by itself probably has more intrinsic value because of it being in the family than what we would get on an auction. As to tell you it's worth $25 or $50. I mean, it's worth a lot more to you, but that's kind of the area that we would be. Yes. Okay.
We bought that at an auction in a box of stuff, so we didn't pay very much for it. But I showed it to my aunt a number of years ago, and she said she had been living in Minneapolis since the 30s, and she doesn't remember that bag
Okay.
being in Minneapolis.
Okay. German American, right? Established 1888. But she didn't remember that.
No, she doesn't remember seeing that bag.
I would think this is probably turn of the century, maybe, I don't believe it was the year that this wasn't put out like in 1888, it's the year, or 1886.
Maybe that was the year the bank was established.
Exactly. I think this is more of like a, something that they gave out afterwards, like on an anniversary or whatever. As to what it'd bring, do you have the bottom part?
No, that was missing.
Okay, that was missing. There is quite a market, and it is cast, and there is quite a market for cast banks. Something like this could do, even with the bottom missing, between $50 and $100 in a bank market, if you get some bank buyers, because coin banks are very, very collectible. There's a lot of people that collect those more so than just fishing.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
This was probably this one's worth less than $50, unless that's a real diamond, and I don't think so. It doesn't look right. Have the stones checked, but these usually don't have more sentiment than they have value.
Okay.
Get out of here now. Okay.
Ma'am, you can go next.
Next. What did you find? Good. Oh, she's got one treasure there. This is not real Indian pottery. This is a tourist thing. Doesn't have great value. Now this little guy, the fisherman, this is a copy of a Hummel. This is not a Hummel. Was probably sold in the dime stores in the 50s. Now, you have to tell me, where'd you find this?
Garage sale.
A garage sale.
We had it at that big.
This is what we call a sulfide marble with a cow in it. It's rather unusual. It's in very nice condition. It's got one flaw here. You still have, it does have a bubble. This would range somewhere between $100 and $150 for that marble. That's a treasure. Hang on to it. Don't play marbles with it. No more bumps in it.
How much did it cost you?
50 cents.
Did it?
Oh, good for you.
That's a good return on your money.
Bring it down, I'll buy it from you any day.
But I find interesting in this is the sticker on the inside.
Made in Taiwan, Republic of China. Means it's not very old.
It's not
50s.
50s?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it's even 50s.
Really?
No, not Republic of China. I've got one just like this in the shop.
Do you?
This was Cracker Jacks. It was about 1915, around the time of World War I. They're worth around $15.
Okay.
Yours is in nice, better than average condition. This is reproduction. This is not an old one.
Not an old.
No, and it should say so around here somewhere. The detail simply isn't good.
Oh, okay.
The detail is better on the real one.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes. Who's next and so on. It is gold wire on here. These we retail usually under $20 a piece. This is not a real cameo. This is a plastic cameo. Probably about 20 some years old.
Still percolating.
That's an Avon one.
Okay.
Less than $20. This would be the same category. This is an older piece.
The museum is open. Anybody wants to go for a tour, you're very welcome. Anytime from now until the time you leave, okay? Right across the street.
It has a patent number on the back, is the only information. Since it is not marked, it's probably not sterling, but I'm surprised. Kind of looks like it could be.
There are buyers out
What do you have to do
This will be worth in the $30 to $50 range.
Thank you.
Even a book in here. Oh, you left the book at home.
I left the book at home.
Let's see who the manufacturer was. American Beauty. Leader. These sell in the $40 to $60 range when you can find somebody who's interested in older appliances. It's in beautiful condition. You've done a good job taking care of it. And that's what you need to do with those. This is what we call pyrography. It was a typical home craft type thing from the 1890s until the early 20s. This would be the earlier period. You could go to the store and buy them just with its design on and take it home. They would do the coloring and the varnishing and so on. Just probably a little glove box or little dresser box. I haven't seen this particular decoration before. These are headed on the way upward. A couple of years ago this was a $4 box. Now it's about a $20 box. So that's an old. Now, this is typical of what they did. They used to save four-leaf clovers and so on. It's hard on the book. Not good for the book. It was
1874 printing, that's
yeah, 1873, the copyright on it. Copyright was usually good for a number of years. Do you know what these are?
Death card.
Yeah, those are the death cards. And these are becoming quite collectible in and of themselves. This is just a missile. Nice colored print in the front here. These usually sell under $20, even at that age.
Did you ever see one like that, what the farmer used?
Oh, thank you. To keep track of his records.
Yeah.
That's cool. Nope, just like that. Thank you. Oh, isn't that interesting? They sold for $3.80.
That was Ralph's.
Keep track of the
You
keep
had
the
to turn
records.
that one in order to make the other one.
Roll, yeah, you roll this one and that one. That's a wonderful record of what was happening on the farm.
Yep.
That is a treasure. That's worth more to you than it would ever be worth in a marketplace.
Yeah.
Just to see, they sold bought $23 worth of chickens. Shredding the corn was $32.50 for the year. This is intriguing. Let's see. $11.20 for tractor repair.
Yep.
Ooh, the pole was expensive. $9.96. That must have been a luxury.
Yep, it was. And that's 12.
That's neat.
Look at the pipe, 12 karat gold.
Yep, that's not a typical German pipes. 12 karat gold plate. Gold plate though, not gold. No, just gold plate. This is cherry amber though, which is very interesting. The stem is cherry amber. What company do we have? We couldn't do this today. Redmond brand. That's not. We wouldn't dare market that this way anymore. No. That was typical 1920s. Okay. Let's see what we find.
And this is one of the first books, showing some of the very old. The book is in really good condition. It's got colored pictures, so that means that it isn't. I was looking for a copyright date in here, and they didn't see it as to the date of copyright. But it is. It's really unique in that you do. I'm kind of a John Deere fan. So I would say that book by itself would be probably $50, but if you got it to a Deere person, you could probably do a couple hundred on that. All right, thank you for coming. Hello.
Hi.
Can you tell me a little bit of history about this?
No, it was his mother's, and she passed away when she was 96. So.
Unique piece. Little porcelain duster. I would think something like this. It's got the flower on it. Looks to be in good shape. I don't see any cracks or anything. I would think something like this would do on an auction in our area, probably from probably between $50 and $75 for a piece like this. It's kind of unique in that I've never seen one quite like that. This is
That was my grandmother's.
The Nippon China pieces, that when they're in nice shape, there's no chips or cracks on the edge or anything. It hasn't had excess wear. It's got the gold trim pretty nice in place. These pieces typically bring $35 to $50 in our marketplace for Nippon China pieces. Again, that's not as much as what a person would want to sell it for because of it being in the family, kind of a family piece. But it is a real nice little piece. It's unique, and those are always fun to advertise because people know the Nippon China.
Yeah, I'm going to pass it down, but just kind of curious.
It's kind of neat to know about that. This is another passed on piece from Grandma Peterson, it says.
Yeah, that was his mother's too.
That's what you call bottom marked when it says that on the bottom. So that's wonderful. I told my wife I got to get better glasses, and now I think she's going to believe me when I can't read all of this. the pieces are in very nice shape. You know, there's no chips or bites around the top. That does go to the value. Again, I don't know about the age on this one. By the looks of it, I would say this is in the 30s, 40s area. I would say something like this also would do around $50 or so on an auction. These are real unique pieces, and again, an estate auction would get, you know, the most money for something like that, as for it being worth $300-400.
In other words, our kids will get the money. Huh?
That's right. That's right. You might as well pass it on to the kids and keep it with the kids anyway.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Found it under a tomato plant.
Is that right?
I don't know if it has any value, but I laid it on the desk.
Found it just digging up our garden. We had just bought the house. We dug up the garden.
Have you read on there what the date is on this?
We're open on Wednesday,
Centennial
and I think we'll be to the rooster. It's a little bit cold, but if you're in town, call.
Something 909.
When the moon hits you.
Can you make that out? Because I'm not being able to read.
1809 to 1884.
Okay. Celebration piece.
See, they show on the back.
Show on the back the binder.
A reaper.
Reaper, huh?
They call it.
Okay.
It just bothered me.
I've not seen anything like this. This really isn't a coin, it's more of a, like you said, a souvenir type of piece. It's got a real unique history in that. In other words, it was buried for many years. Boy, I don't know what to tell you on value, folks.
Where would you find out value on it?
You could possibly check.
International dealers.
Right, I would say almost McCormick
They like to grab
deals.
and
You know, plumb bobs and wash fobs and different things that have that advertising on. That's usually where you get the most money when it comes to that, not general auction type of deal. But it's kind of a neat keepsake. Thanks for bringing it. Thanks for coming.
A little German perfume bottle. German, about World War I vintage. They can be as early as 1910, they can be as late as 1930. You don't often find them with the original stopper. You want to protect that stopper. He is an absolute charmer. In today's market, he's worth between $50 and $75. This is a sugar, to serve sugar. Electroplated Britannia metal, made in England, GL and Company. I have no idea who GL and Company is. The English made these a lot more and for a lot longer period of time than the Americans did. Usually that probably fits in the...
I always put it here.
It fits beautifully there. Probably that's the way it worked. But it was for sugar on the tea table.
This.
Right then. That would date about 1890. Yeah, a little before. Value-wise, that's probably worth $60 to $75. Now, your figural napkin ring.
Yeah, and that was my grandmother's. Her nickname is on there, always.
You know there's lunch too.
Okay, now let's see if we can find the trademark.
Oh, it's a donation, I think.
There should be one. Yes, it's here.
In the leaf.
It's on the underside of that leaf. It's Meriden Britannia Company, Meriden, Connecticut. This would be sometime 1880s, early 1890s. This napkin ring at this point in time is worth about $175 to $200. They are highly collectible. At this point, it's probably worth in the $20 to $25 range. This is an MZ Austria plate. It's a relatively common mold. The Covels recently featured this design in one of their newsletters. A plate like that is currently worth about $75.
Except it is missing one of those.
It's missing a point. Yes. Put it back in the cupboard and enjoy it.
Yes. And a piano.
Oh! You know what these are?
It's a Norwegian piano.
Yes, they call them Soya. Sun, they reflect the light. It is solid silver.
Oh, is it?
It is sterling silver. It will polish beautifully. Don't polish it. It's supposed to stay like this. It's unusual to find one with the heart and the crown, and it has all of its dangles. Consider getting a picture frame or a table frame and putting velvet on it and having it up for display. It's mounted. It's a wonderful piece. Whoa, there one came off out of the hook. It just needs to be hung back in there.
I can do it.
Right there's the hook.
Yes.
These days, that's worth between $175 and $200. Let's do it. This, no, this one is not a T-strainer.
We're trying to figure out if that's
No.
Why isn't it a cheese?
No place to strain it.
right. That's what.
There's no strainer.
Right.
Cream thing.
I think it's meant as an invalid feeder.
As a what?
Invalid feeder. Or a child to feed a child who cannot help themselves. Pour it into the mouth, the invalid, so you get nourishment.
I think there was a strainer in there years ago, but I could be wrong.
I've seen others, but not in this shape. That's why I think that this may have been for another purpose. It's a wonderful piece. If it were in the shop, I'd want $40 to $50 for that.
Okay, this is a little, and it comes apart.
Yes, and I don't want to take it apart because I will never get it.
It's real easy to.
All right, you do it. You show me. I need to learn.
This, and then this comes out. And then, whoops, and that has a little heart on it. And then it has that on the side.
Is that of your family, Chris?
No, I bought it at a garage sale.
Good for you.
And that.
All right.
And this has a little heart.
It's a love token. Oh my. I think this one's only maybe 50 years old. They can be older, but I just don't get that feeling from it. It's a jewel. I would say post-World War II type thing. Probably worth in the $30 range.
Not bad.
Not bad. 40 cents for it? You did well. You did very well.
Well, Pink Depression is very.
That was my husband's mother's.
Yeah, it's very collectible in our marketplace. They really like the pink.
Okay. You said what was this price?
And I said that will also do around $50 or so there.
Okay.
But this is twice as valuable as that in our market. Please wrap them up just like you did. I'm going to let you do that. Hello.
Hi.
Okay.
Go back in here.
Know any history on this?
No, we found all this stuff in our attic, and we remodeled our house. I don't know any history.
Okay.
Just figure it has to date back to my parents, grandparents.
Well, I was going to say this is turn of the century because of the frame within the frame style. It's a little bit unique in that if you look at the edges here and how they're cut and the edging, this isn't machine done. So this dates, I would say, turn of the century. Something like this on an auction without a picture, which is, you know, this is almost because of this unique scrolling in here, would probably do in that $100 area in our marketplace because of the uniqueness of the edge. It's also in very good shape. It's not chipped off or whatever. I mean, this is weathering, you know, and that is natural for this age of a piece. But you look at it, it's kind of a unique piece. Not that it possibly isn't worth a lot more to you for kids' sake, but like you said, for something you pull out of the attic, that's kind of a neat find. In our marketplace, that's what it would do.
This one.
Okay. Was this originally what was in here when you found
Yes.
it?
Yep.
Okay.
I found it, and this, I finally figured out what this is the 15 decades of the rosary.
Okay, because there was too many for the Stations of the Cross.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and it's Mary, so
Yeah.
I
Finally it came to you, huh?
Yeah, right.
Well, that's unique.
then
I've
if
never seen that picture.
And somebody was saying there that they didn't know if they did coloring in those days, so this could be hand painted.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was wondering because of the age of this, and you know, it's it almost seems like it might be. It seems like it's still an original piece, like it was. And here's what I was talking about earlier: the uniqueness in the corners where it's not evenly cut like a miter saw type of cut.
I see.
So again, this frame excites me a lot more than the one earlier that I looked at that was from Taiwan. This doesn't appear to be Taiwanese. This is kind of a neat piece. This, you know, at the right auction in our marketplace here, could do anywhere from $200 to $500 on something like this because of the oldness, and somebody that would really get into the religion because of the, you know, because of the age. I agree, it's not a colored, it's more of like a painted style picture rather than a photocopied picture.
It is?
Yeah. St. Cecilia is the one that always plays the piano.
Okay. I don't know. I must have picked it up at a garage sale.
Yeah. This is from the 20s. St. Cecilia is usually worth about $20. All right, we got a Atkinson Fox, I think.
They have no signature.
Wait a minute. There. Okay, I'll kind of wrinkle it up so I get it all the way.
What you need to do is go to the library and look for the books on, oh, I was going to give you this.
I think so. I don't know. I don't know.
No, these pictures he had in a second. No, they were kind of
See if you can find a book on that man. I think you'll find this print in it. Atkinson Fox, it's out of the 20s or the 30s. It is in the original frame. Don't change the frame. If you want to keep this, take the back out of it and have decent paper and stuff put on the back, because this will eventually ruin the print, because this is not acid free. But if you're going to sell it,
It's been on there for many years. Or?
oh yeah, it's the original, but it's the wrong thing for it, to preserve it. But if you're not going to keep it, if you intend to sell it this way. Because people want to see that it is the old bag. But it's not the good thing for the print.
How much is it about worth, maybe?
Well, if we can, it's an Atkinson Fox. No, with no name on it, it's worth $35. If you can prove that it's an Atkinson Fox, it's $125. So you've got to do that research to find out who it is.
This isn't an old picture.
No, but it's a wonderful frame.
It's the frame, is what
Yeah,
it is.
it's the frame. It's a Mexican frame, I think.
No, he's from Taiwan.
Taiwan, yeah. If you went to a frame shop to have this done, that frame would cost you $150. In the secondary market, it's worth about $25. For those who want
two
to.
of them, and I had something.
No.
Yeah, it ain't.
Yeah.
They're for museum-wise and that kind of thing.
They keep
they're worth more than. But I don't know how much. That's why I thought maybe you would.
No, and I don't know what to tell you on a value on that. You know, I really don't. But I appreciate you bringing it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Show you something you never seen before.
That's right. That's wonderful.
I have a casserole that was in my mother's family for a long time.
Okay.
And I've never seen one like this before. I was wondering what this metal is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were familiar with that. I believe it says Guernsey.
Yeah, cooking ware. Yeah. Doesn't look like a Guernsey to me, but I suppose it could be close. These were, my understanding is these are used like for taking a casserole to a church, to a function or whatever. And that's what the reason for the carrier, so you could take a hot casserole in it. I believe that this is in the 50s era. It's not like a 20s or 30s piece. And, you know, I don't think that by the looks of the shine on the porcelain that it's that old. You know, do you have any history as to how long you've had it or anything?
No, I just know that it was in my mother's china cabinet for years, ever since I can remember.
Yeah. You know, and I thought this was, you know, the advantage to it is it's got the air hole in it for the steam, which you don't see in a lot of the newer ones. There isn't any chips or cracks to it.
She didn't use it.
Right, didn't use it, but I believe it was a gift to her, and she put it away because it was a gift. I don't think it was old, like it was a wedding gift from when she was young, because of the condition of this and whatnot. I'm thinking that it's probably 50, 60 years old, but it's not 150 years old type of deal. Okay.
And do you know what this? It is not silver, I don't believe.
With the claw on it, the base. I don't answer your question.
Did they make stainless steel back?
No, I don't think it is a stainless steel, but it is like metal. You know, but it does have some silver plating in it, so I think it's got some silver to it. And it's, I've got a trumpet at home. It's the same thing. You know, it doesn't shine, so you know, it isn't silver like where you have to polish it all the time. It holds its shine. So yeah, it's neat. So the claw footer is kind of neat too. Thank you for bringing it. With a bowl.
Not the original, but we have another bowl, something similar.
Sure. Sure. It looks in very nice shape. It's got some aging cracks here is all showing its age. You know, through here, these markings. This is more like a display piece. When we get these with the bowl, the matching bowl, not just any bowl, but the matching bowl, we typically can get $100 plus for a pitcher and bowl. Usually the pitcher is what breaks. The handle chips, or there's a nick in the top more so than the bowl. But this is in real good shape, so this pitcher by itself should be worth the $100. You know, to kind of give you an idea. It's not something that I would want to be using.
I know it's old.
Oh yeah, you can tell that by looking at the cracks here and at the bottom. I would say you're, you know, 20s era, you know, or so, or maybe before that. Are you thinking before 1920s? Before that. You think so, huh? But you don't have the bowl.
No, I'm not sure. I have to ask my wife once. We found it up in the attic. With the bowl and a pitcher.
Well, you know, if it's an old piece, you know, because wash stands are so popular right now, people want to put the pitchers and bowls on them, and they will pay a lot more. The drawback is they are making a lot of ceramic that match this, you know, and they're turning them out for $35 a set. So you hit a saturation where people no longer want to pay $300 for a set when they can buy a pitcher and bowl for $35. That looks the same, a white ceramic one, but this one has more value. I mean, this is an old piece. But yes, if you have the bowl for it, you could double the value, you know, because the pitcher and bowl is a combination. And that's typically what sells. These sell very well at the auctions because people have wash stands. They buy a lot of them. What's the story on this piece? I've never seen a glass base like that. Glass over the top. It is just glass with the gold sprayed on the inside. It's worn off a little bit. At first I thought it was a metal underneath the way it looked. It's just painted gold underneath. 2 years ago, we could have got 3 times as much money as we can right now for this. That was because everyone was buying for Y2K.
Oh yeah.
The market on oil lamps has dropped substantially in the last 2 years. They still bring from $25 to $50. This one's a little bit unique in having the 6-sided or the 12-sided base here. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 8-sided base, and the gold on the inside. I haven't seen anything like that come up on the auctions. You're still probably around $50 at a break on an auction in our market, typically, something like that. If it were an Aladdin, it'd bring $200, but just an oil lamp, you know, they top out at between $50 and $75 typically, unless family members are bidding against each other. I mean, but that isn't a general public type of deal. I mean, just in our marketplace.
We have another. Remember, way back in the years, they had these oil lamps with the bracket underneath, hung on the wall, with a reflector back. We don't have to reflector anymore, but we have to bracket on a lamp.
You got the bracket and lamp without the chrome reflector for the back. I sold a bracket lamp with a reflector on Labor Day for $135. You know, but that had the reflector. It was up on the wall, and the lady said, I don't need that lamp, so we took it down and brought $135. But, you know, complete is the key there again, you know, and to find that bracket, although they do make, you know, reproductions of that back bracket, you know, that chrome dish, you know, basically.
You can see it's real old, I mean, it's tarnished and everything, you know.
But complete is the key on that too, you know. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for bringing it.
Buttons like that.
You
I'm
might
a
be able to
button
I know you are.
Yeah.
You'll have to come and see the recent supply of buttons.
Did you get a recent supply?
I got some new buttons.
I'll be in. I'll be in.
Wait, I'm on my way to Cedar Rapids. Wait till I get back.
Oh, okay.
I've got to be to Cedar Rapids for breakfast.
Ooh. That seems like last year you were on your way to someplace.
I was on my way to Chicago, I think, last year.
Yeah. Valuation?
$30 to $40.
Okay, last year you were talking about advertising art, so I brought mine.
Yeah, you bought the, we see these quite common, I don't know why. These have been worth about the same thing for 25 years. They're worth $40 to $60.
Oh, that's okay, I got it for nothing.
Yours is in very nice condition, which is important. Don't let it get damp.
Okay, I won't.
That's what that one is.
Thank you.
You're probably over that just because of it, the history that you have with it, and it's really unique. But I've never seen a German set with Dutch picture on it, and that's kind of unique.
Yeah, so. I thought it was quite unusual.
Yeah, it is an unusual set. That's a very nice set. I'm not into a lot of cup and saucers. We do get quite a number of them on auctions, and usually they're just different flower prints.
Right.
Very seldom do you see them with the children on there, like they're sitting there. So, well, that's nice. It is. It's very, very neat, and that's a real neat keepsake. You know, especially you know you got it from this person, and a lot of times, and that's the only drawback to doing this type of deal is we see all this neat stuff that we know we'll never see in an auction because people want to keep them in the families, which is really neat. You know, every once in a while we'll come across an auction that'll have the unique pieces, and then the family will come and then we really can't use those as values anyway because they'll bid more than the general public will. So anyway, circumvent that. The only difference is I don't get paid in between. So. Thank you for bringing it.
I thank you.
This is John Lennon, and I'm thinking about 69 because it was in my box of stuff that had dates in it, and 69, and I don't know that one. This is John Lennon.
Yeah, but this is the Great Northern. Believe it or not, of the three, I don't know how to value the John Lennon without getting to a collector on that.
Right.
But this is really popular in our market,
Really?
the Great Northern.
Yeah.
You know, because of the car shops in Wake Park, so Stearns County. There are collectors that collect this type of stuff. If you advertise a Great Northern pin, you know, they will show up just a bit on this. This piece is a little bit unique in that it's in really good condition.
Right.
you know, I marked $1. If it's not worth 25 right now, it would surprise me. I don't know what to tell you on this one. I really couldn't value that.
It's hard to say.
This one could do $50 like a darn, you know, just because of it being popular in our area.
Right.
You know, but I would say we could get 50 easier than I can get 25. And this, in Stearns County, you probably couldn't get $2, you know, but in the right marketplace,
on the internet or something.
on the internet, you might be able to find somebody that would collect something like that. And buttons are a little unique because a lot of people collect them, and they sell better separately than a whole collection.
Okay.
You know, if you just have you advertise a Kennedy Johnson button, you know, maybe there'll be somebody that'll come for that, or this one. And again, I pass on that one as to just because I've never come across that. We have sold some political buttons, and we sold a fair amount of Great Northern pieces, you know, because it went from Great Northern to Burlington.
Right. Well, see, my dad worked for the Great Northern, and my mom actually has probably several Great Northern things.
Yeah. And so you want to keep those because they seem to be very strong in our market.
Okay.
Belt buckles and one time I had a watch fob that said Great Northern on it, and I can't remember. It seemed to me it did $50, $75 just for that. That was a number of years ago. I've also sold them for $200, $300 if they say like hand motor car or something, you know, something that they don't make.
Okay. I brought one more thing.
Okay.
My neighbor found this in his barn, and they're all front pages of old newspapers now. I don't know if old newspapers are worth anything. He just wanted to know kind of what to do with them, I think.
Typically, I don't see that kind of a market here for people that would buy that. I mean, you might get $10 or $20 for it, but not several hundred, you know, because it's area specific for the newspaper.
And we kind of looked at it, but I can't remember which, you know, newspapers it was. But it had stuff about Jesse James and
we
like that.
We had some Sundance photos, wanted deals earlier this evening, you know, and it sounds like that dates back to the turn of the century if you're talking Jesse James.
Right, yeah, it was around the late 1800s.
Yeah, late 18s, yeah, 1880 or 1890.
And I think it looked like they were just like one page, you know, like the front page or...
Yeah. And again, based on what we sell in auctions, it just doesn't bring
yeah.
You know, but that doesn't mean that there isn't some value in it. I just wouldn't know how to really value it here because I've not had the opportunity.
It might be worth more to frame them and sell them in a frame, like that one page.
By far, you know, if you could frame them and mat them, then people buy them like that.
Right, so they're all protected. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it open.
Yeah, no, you don't have to for my part.
All right.
As a matter of fact, the less you handle them, the better off
Right,
it'll be.
that's why, I looked at them once,
and
actually I'm going to probably have a digital camera and take some pictures of them.
And with the digital now, you can archive a lot of that, and with the internet, you can, for our State Auctioneers Association, we're starting to archive a lot of it on electric with a digital camera, and we can keep records of taking pictures of the stuff. Instead of having this portable museum, now you can go on the internet and you can go to the website and you can view it all.
Right.
You can see the cane, read the write-ups.
Right. Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
Okay. But well, number one. So how about 15? I'll be free. Maybe I'll Melrose 3
He's got something now.
I can't understand. I was down here, and I was the one and only. And yet, the funny thing is, this is the only one I ever saw like this. Nothing nowhere. We put it on the internet, though, in the library. We couldn't come up with anything like that. No, we probably can't keep up with that with the internet. You know, if you check on everything else, what's our morning something came up. Not one of them. It's the only one I saw like it anywhere. I don't wonder. That library was up, well, I think this thing is Quite a rare thing. You get a rare thing on the price. I'm gonna hang on to that one. Yeah. I haven't, I definitely not gonna like it anymore. I looked at her shop down there everywhere.
It should be pretty.
That's what I really get into. These things are wrong. They would be in perfect condition. $60 to $65. But that's gonna beat up so much.
Tumbler, depending on the shade of blue. What we call sapphire blue. Those tumblers sell for about $50 a piece these days.
And I was downtown, we do have an entry downtown, just came in now, just this summer. And all people. Yeah, oh, Chrysler and Dodge, they turned it into that now. Chrysler Dodge thing, not a problem. Yeah, yeah. No. You know, that's what you try,